Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Ahead, we'll see Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks as they match up with Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, let's get you up to HEINZ Field in Pittsburgh. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to HEINZ Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here we go from HEINZ Field as Chris Boswell tees it up and boots it away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Seahawks offense led out by number 3, Russell Wilson, the franchise's all-time leader in touchdown passes. And the Seahawks, they finished above 500 in all 7 of Wilson's seasons. But this year, a little different. They'll work with a very young receiving core, no Doug Baldwin anymore, in what promises to be a tough NFC West. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. And one of the big bodies helping out this offense is your boy, Upati.
And all he wants to do is have running plays called, fire out, and smack people.
On second down now, it's Carson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Fourth down, and out is the all-pro punter from a year ago, Michael Dixon, to punt for Seattle. Back deep for the Steelers, Ryan Switzer. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Steelers under longtime head coach Mike Tomlin. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
An absolute prototype for what you draw up as a big, strong quarterback that has to stay in the pocket and make big throws with people all around him and even hanging on him, and still has that type of strength to get the ball downfield. Ben Roethlisberger, an absolute rock in the pocket, but he also can escape and make big plays that way as well.
Big Ben of the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his 2nd season, James Conner. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
And now the spotlight falls on wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, because with the acrimonious departure of Antonio Brown to Oakland and Le'Veon Bell moving on to the New York Jets, he is truly the #1 target for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
I'm going to run you over.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. And he connects with Vance McDonald. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 16 yards, a 1st down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Play fake to Conner. Now Roethlisberger. He'll get that one complete to Conner. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it's a 2nd down. And a look at Seattle's defense.
Now one of the leaders in the Seattle secondary is safety Bradley McDougald. Since the retirement of Cam Chancellor, he's really had to step up and take on a primary role. Excellent against the run, solid in coverage, 2 interceptions in week 1 of 2018, and never looked back.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Check 26, check 26.
On 2nd down, Conner looking for space. Now the ball comes loose, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now out comes Seattle here. We'll see their offense going in just a second. Speaking of that offense, for Russell Wilson, they went out in the draft this year, got him a couple new options out wide, did they not?
They did, and you can see that they're changing their offensive philosophy a little bit. Remember Doug Baldwin, who was a great target, especially on the underneath throws? He's retired. So strategically, because they run the heck out of the football, Chris Carson was a 1,000-yard runner. They expect more from Rashad Penny this year. They want to have the ability to throw the ball deep, and the only guy they had previously, Tyler Lockett, who's going to play in the slot now with Doug Baldwin retired. So they went out and got DK Metcalf in the 2nd round out of Ole Miss, got Gary Jennings from West Virginia in the 4th round, and both of them can fly. Look for Russell Wilson, who throws a really pretty deep ball, to take advantage of that this season.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Check, 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 check.
To throw again, Wilson. They set up the screen to Penny. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Rashawn Davis with a pick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
Football going over to the Pittsburgh Steelers here, and you think about 2019 coming up. The Killer Bees, it's now just down to the Killer Bees, singular, because you got Le'Veon Bell, he's in New York, Antonio Brown in Oakland, and Ben Roethlisberger, he's the one that's left, Charles.
I keep hearing from my scouts around the league that Ben Roethlisberger's having a heck of a camp. It's a lot quieter in Pittsburgh, as you might imagine, right? A lot of the hubbub has died down, but he's playing well. And we saw last year James Conner filled in quite capably, went to the Pro Bowl in Le'Veon Bell's stead. And Juju Smith-Schuster, he was the number 2 receiver for Pittsburgh last year. Now he has to become the number 1 with Antonio Brown in Oakland. We'll see how he handles that, but the talent is there. And I love Jalen Samuels, a hybrid-type player out of the backfield in the slot. Dante Moncrief and James Washington have to make the biggest jumps out on the perimeter in order for Pittsburgh to still operate as they have on offense.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Now this throw complete to Washington. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Washington. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Roethlisberger coming up with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. On 1st and 10 is Conner. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop. He's already put it on the ground once in this first half. There, no gain, just struggling to get going.
Yeah, and what he needs right now, a dose of confidence, which means his guys have to chop a hole, a big one for him, give him a chance to run a little bit and gain some of that confidence back. He didn't get it on that carry.
Now this throw, it's complete. It's Moncrief with it. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's the end of the first quarter.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now Ben going to give this one to Connor. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This will be, 38 yards out. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
He needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? Because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he gets this only to the 41, not near enough for the 1st. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 20. The drive will start with Connor. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the 24, Roethlisberger. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down. Juju, there's definitely a positive spirit about that man. You know, he was, I know you know this story, but he was asked in training camp by a fan to sign his head next to a tattooed Steelers logo.
Not a piece of paper on his head.
No.
Sign his head.
Sign his head. And then later Juju told reporters he'd give game tickets to that fan if he got it tattooed. Well, he did. And Juju came through with not only game tickets, but season tickets for the fan.
Well, there is a positive spirit about him, as you said. He does give good juju out there, and the fans feel it. In fact, at another practice session, he took part in a gender reveal because the fans asked him, hey, can you come over and help us out with this? He said, sure. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a boy.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do. Looking
for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Roethlisberger, incomplete. James Conner, the running back, his intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son, and then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. To the right side and complete to Washington. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Ben to throw again. And McDonald here over the middle. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Black, it's on! 50, Mike, 50! There's a party now! Black, it's on!
To throw again on second down. Roethlisberger. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Again, it's Roethlisberger. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to make it 4th down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today.
A 27-yard attempt.
Boswell's kick is good. And they're able to double their lead just before half. It's 6-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now Wilson. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got it at the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. It's a gain of 35. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Nick Vanette, as the first half is winding down, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point.
We've been together a few years, and you know that I really ride the wave of old momentum, don't I?
Yes, you do.
There is a heck of a difference between being down 6 and possibly being up 1. And right now, they've got that opportunity.
No doubt. That is a big-time score and a big-time swing in momentum. Jason Myers now for the extra point. And he puts it through. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So we're at halftime with our score 7-6 in a tough-fought first half. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's second down now. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Roethlisberger. Able to hit his tight end, Grimble. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
They'll run on first down. It's Connor. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. In on the stop, Bradley McDougald.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
From the 36, Roethlisberger. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. They scored a touchdown the last time they had the football, but things going to be a little bit more difficult this time.
Oh, certainly, because where they're starting, the goal isn't even thinking about a touchdown at this point. They're thinking about field position, a couple of first downs in order to give some room for their punter and maybe flip the field position for their defense.
Now Wilson back into his end zone. A strong running. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Much more room to operate under after the big play. Here's 1st and 10.
Whip. Watch the whip.
They run the counter. Carson. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
What? I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Now on 2nd and 13. Wilson to the right side, and he's got more complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. Let's see who's faster.
On 3rd down. It's Carson. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. A little bit of daylight on that 1st down run sets him up nicely. 8 yards on the carry. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple.
Come on.
Again, a run with counter. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
I'm coming after you.
Roethlisberger will hand to counter. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. That's complete to his running back, Connor. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
All right now, wide 80. Right there, 54 miles. Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback.
They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. That's Ziggy Ansah, the number 5 pick in 2013, credited with a sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now it's Roethlisberger. He'll get that one complete to Connor. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Now Roethlisberger. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Rolling to his right. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
I think they tried to fool him on that one. You know, being able to throw the ball to the fullback position. No one was fooled on that play.
No, lost yardage. You think they should yank that one from the playbook, at least for the time being?
I think what you do is you take it out and you evaluate it next week in practice.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Throwing is Wilson. He may try and run for this. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the first down. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight one-point game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They're looking at a fourth down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So Big Ben and the Steelers now down 7-6, just under 2 minutes to go. And they need about 35 yards to get in range for a winner as they come up on first down.
Black 20. Like I said.
He'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's McDonald. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Big Ben has the knowledge, certainly the weapons to pull this off. We know he's done it many times in the past.
And that transmits itself to the rest of the offensive unit because these guys know that with Big Ben leading them, they've got a lot of confidence they can get it done.
Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. He's back to throw, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Back to throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play. First down now, but that clock rolling.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
They'll look to throw. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Let's go.
Now it's Roethlisberger. Got his man complete over the middle. That's McDonald. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Here's Connor. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Blue 30. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Black, what's up? You ain't doing nothing, Black, what's up?
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 5. On third down, it's Connor. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. And Boswell's kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Now the focus shifts to the Seahawks offense. Trailing by 2 after the made field goal. 36 seconds remaining. And they need at least 30 yards, you'd have to think, here to move the football to have a shot. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. He's got the tight end, Vanette. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Wilson trying to urge his guys to go faster and get set at the line. Wilson to throw. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from HEINZ Field.